We are here with the UFC's the newest and biggest signing that we've had in quite some time. Michael Venom Page coming over from Bellator. Mike, how pumped are you right now? How good are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like it still hasn't 100% sunk in.
Yeah.
So uh but yeah, I'm still feeling good, talking to friends and family who kind of understand the magnitude. It's exciting. It's definitely exciting. I'm looking forward to getting in that cage as soon as possible, man.
Yeah. When you announced your free agency on the MMA Hour, maybe like 6 months ago, you had said that you wanted to like kind of see your worth, like see what was out there. Was it fun being courted, or was it a little anxiety driven? Like, how did you feel during the whole process?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of knew my own value. I knew, I wasn't getting my worth that I bring to a show. So it was good. It was definitely good. It felt a little bit longer than expected, but it was definitely good to be a free agent and actually, is that as you say, just kind of get offers and hear offers from so many different people.
Yeah. At what point was like the deal done? Like, was it done months ago, or did it literally finish like recently?
It definitely finished a bit more recently. There's always like it's contracts are very it's very detailed. There's a lot to kind of go back and forth and go through. There's a lot I had to consider. The UFC was always the front runner for the majority of the time, to be fair. But yeah, in terms of actually getting it over the line, definitely a lot more recently.
Awesome. I know that you boxed Mike Perry. You're one of the best boxers in the world. Is that something that you're looking at continuing doing, or is it focus MMA straight and narrow, or like what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, again, let's say I wasn't or I didn't go to the UFC. I guess it'd be a bit more realistic, kind of having the opportunity to box again.
Mhm.
But in the UFC, it's definitely focusing on just the UFC, going for that belt, making as much noise, beating some big names. So that's going to be the focus. Yeah.
Okay. And then like from this point on, like, have you been told, like if you have like maybe if you rattle off three or four in a row, like Alex Pereira, right? Alex Pereira, won maybe three fights, and then despite his ranking, he jumped up and he fought Izzy, and then he TKO'd Izzy for the title. Have you been told like you're going to be on like a similar trajectory, maybe three or four fights and then a title shot, or have you guys not gone into the weeds on that?
Yeah, no, there's too many. There's too many moving parts when it comes to being awarded fights and so on and so forth, and it depends on what's going on around. But I don't see myself taking too much time.
Right.
If all goes according to plan. If you look at Michael Chandler and how he came over and what he did to get a title, it's I'm looking at it like a similar path, maybe an extra fight and then title. Yeah.
For sure. Are you and Michael Chandler friends? I know like he was from Bellator and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no, Michael Chong is wicked, man.
Yeah.
Lovely person, great, amazing fighter. So it was good to kind of see somebody take that step ahead of you and kind
Yeah.
of see what he's done with that. So yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he was awesome on Ultimate Fighter. I don't know if you watched it, but it was really, really good. Um,
Yeah.
is like, did you come to the UFC? Obviously, like it's a big name and like they have the big marketing machine, but do you see it as kind of like they're a very good option for post-fighting career? Like, do you think it sets you up well in the future as well, or are you like, do you look at that kind of stuff as a fighter?
Yeah, I think it's important to have an idea of where you're going and things you want to do after having it, kind of thinking about those kind of things. For me, I already kind of know what direction I want to head in,
Mhm.
and it's more like the acting world.
Oh, okay.
Um, so by way of, I didn't really that wasn't really my decision in terms of like thinking about the what can be done after. It's more a case of what the right here and right now. I kind of already have an idea of where I want to go, so that wouldn't have affected me
Okay.
too much. So yeah, it was more just the direction I personally wanted to be in.
Well, you're in a great place to get into acting. You obviously at Paradigm, like they have a lot of actors that, fighters turn actors. Conor McGregor's done acting, Michael Bisping's
Yeah,
done acting.
yeah,
You're in
yeah,
a good spot for that already then at that point.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and who knows, maybe one day you'll have like an analyst broadcasting gig at some point
Exactly,
after, and
exactly.
then
I
stepping.
think there's loads of options, but I kind of, like I said, I kind of understand exactly where I want to go. There's quite a few things I'm doing, and I have been doing already. Um, so yeah, there's more just 100%. UFC gives me, maybe a wider range of a wider audience. So maybe just more opportunities and the ability to network with more people. So it's good. But that definitely wasn't my decision in terms of coming over here specifically.
Totally. Now, when you were offered Kevin Holland, was he like always the person that you had in mind, or was there someone else that you were also targeting for your intro fight into the UFC?
No, there's no specific goal. Like the goal was just getting here. Now I'm here. It was kind of like who they wanted to kind of match me up against. So one thing I did say to them is I don't need to be built up, I've in the time that I've been in mixed martial arts, I have made quite a good name for myself. And just taking the time to build my skills. So I just want to get straight into the deep end. So it was down to them to kind of pick the right matches. And I think this is a massively exciting match.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be the fireworks. That Miami card's gonna be amazing. Um,
Yeah.
when I think of you, I don't know why I think of this, but I think of Jorge Masvidal when I think of you, and I think part of it is the knee to Cyborg and then the knee to Ben Askren.
Oh yeah.
But I think that, Masvidal did such a good job during his career to market himself. Like, what's your secret sauce? Because you're really good at marketing yourself. Like, do you have a secret sauce? Like, is something that like you're just like, I'm really good at this or whatever? Because you even said like, I don't need to be built up. Like, why are you so good at it?
I actually take the time to actually. I see that as an important factor, as an important part of your development as a mixed martial artist. So even when I first made a decision to come into mixed martial arts, I was very much like, okay, there's you have a limited amount of time on the mic. I need to utilize my time well. I remember hours and hours watching The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, because I think he is probably the best athlete to with regards to controlling the crowd and just creating a certain energy for the crowd in terms of things that he says, his mics, his movement, just everything. So I was just I legit had notepad and pen writing stuff down, and I do the same thing for every fight. I think about the time I'm going to be utilizing, how much time I'm going to have, what can I say, things that I can do. Obviously, the closer I get to the fight, I'm very aware of what's going on around in the world, what people are talking about, and I try to play off that to kind of lean into my celebrations. But yeah, I feel like fighters don't pay enough attention to that side of it. They just fight. And I think we need to understand that we are a brand and we need to be able to market yourself, the best. And I've just always had that kind of creativity. I like to laugh and joke, so I like to, put that out to the world and to supporters and people watching. So yeah, I just feel like you have to come with absolutely everything, and I try my best to do so.
Totally. And like that's like you're definitely speaking my language when it comes to like, marketing yourself is super important and it increases your value, makes you more money. Like everything that you're doing is it's totally like on that side.
Yeah.
Ngannou, he moved from the UFC to PFL. You're going from Bellator to the UFC. I mean, what like from his I'm sure his perspective for free agency was probably a lot more stressful than it was for a lot of other people because of the given like situation. What would you say about like his move to the PFL, the knockdown on Fury? Like, I mean, how it's just crazy.
Like I said, yeah, I think he's an amazing person, an amazing story. I haven't had the chance to meet him as of yet. But what he's done, I respect anybody that fights for what they believe in and fights for. for their own happiness and for their own satisfaction, because he wasn't happy for whatever reason at the UFC.
Mhm.
There's certain things that he wanted to. What I liked is he wasn't just fighting for himself. He was also fighting to make sure his fellow athletes were getting paid well and so on and so forth, which he managed to achieve. Everyone thought it was a stupid move for him to kind of exit and go away from the UFC, and he's obviously managed to. He's massively landed on his feet. Then he's gone into boxing, secured himself in the toughest fight in the world, and did what he did. Arguably won the fight.
Yeah,
it
crazy.
was it was insane. And then now he's just put himself up to be, he's one of the biggest combat athletes in the world for wherever he wants to fight. So just much respect to somebody that kind of goes against the grain. I'm a person that's similar. I don't always want to go the same route as everybody else. I don't always want to do the same things as everybody else, which is why I'm so unique as a fighter. So again, much respect to him.
Totally. And you had mentioned, like from one superstar to another, I would say, is Conor McGregor. He hasn't fought in a long, long time.
Uh,
Now somehow, you're way bigger than he is, but he has actually fought at 170 before.
yeah, yeah.
Like, do you see like could this clash ever happen, or is that just so far out of your mind that it doesn't even matter?
I never really thought about it. Um, yeah, I've never really thought about it. I know he's fought at that division. But yeah, he is a lot smaller.
Yeah,
I would be a lot bigger for him. But again, I'm sure he's game. But let's see what Conor McGregor comes back, because obviously he's had a bit of time off. We don't
yep,
know to what level he's going to be at, how motivated he actually is until we see that what Conor McGregor comes back. So I wouldn't even put my name. I wouldn't even put my name forward until I see
right.
the man that's back in the cage. So
How
yeah, we'll see.
how important would you say how real is ring rust? Because that's what Colby Covington was saying after his performance against Leon. He was like, ring rust. I haven't been in there. I didn't know like he had a bad strategy. Like he had a bunch of excuses afterwards. What would you say about the performance and just like the ring rust aspect? Do you think that's super legit?
Yeah, he's got a lot of excuses because it was just a poor performance. It was he can shout to the hills, but this is the same. I find he's a little bit delusional. This is the same man that also put his hands up after the fight as if he won. Um, uh, yeah, for me, you can't really go by what he says. I do get ring rust, but I think you have to be out a long period of time, and I mean that as in I've been away from the cage due to injuries and stuff for long periods of time. So I understand ring rust, but I was still training, obviously. Whereas McGregor potentially might not have been doing any work at all, focusing on family and businesses that he's been developing. I think that's true ring rust, because if he's actually been away from training, uh, Colby, I'm sure he's been training not right the way through, regardless. That's not ring rust. We all have cages in our gyms. We all do sparring. I just think he just was just terrible that night.
If you could write the story for like say like I don't know how many fights you signed on for the UFC, but
Yeah.
you could write the story right now. This is what I
Yeah.
want to see happen. What would you say starting in March, I suppose, with Kevin Holland?
Okay. The story goes Kevin Holland, super knockout, opens everybody's eyes to the boogeyman that I am, the MVP, the horror story that people have seen. It legitimizes it. That's the first thing. I can't even think of a specific name, but I just want top five straight after that.
Okay.
Same scary thing happens. I go in there and I do some crazy, crazy knockout or just a crazy performance, uh, showcasing what I've been showcasing my whole career, in style. and then I see myself. Hopefully, Leonard still has the belt. Um, I think I've already envisioned me and him in the UK,
Mm.
filling out a stadium,
Oh,
not just an arena, filling out a stadium
mhm.
because it's the magnitude of that fight.
Yep.
And it's great for all parties, regardless of result. It's great for absolutely everybody. The UK, it puts us on the map to, we are serious contenders, especially with, a bit much respect to like Tom Aspinall of recent as well. It's showcasing that, we are a force to be reckoned with. But I've already envisioned that. So I see, and past that point, it's just the world is mine.
What do you anything crazy that you got coming up, or just training, or what?
Yeah, I think the main thing that's I'm pushing right now is the KO show. It's on my channel.
Okay.
These two are going to be the eyes and ears for MVP. They are Kaz Crossley and Ollie Sutherland,
Hmm.
two of my good friends. They are I had my first show with them directly after my announcement to the UFC.
Cool.
And these guys it's almost like they're veterans in the game, like they've done it their whole career. So you'll see them around a lot.
Hmm.
And then for now, I don't really want to focus on anything else other than just what's going on. I'm going to be head down. I'm going away for to go see my family in Miami, actually.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be away for Christmas,
Mhm.
celebrating with them. As soon as I get back, I'm in the lab putting in serious work. And legit, I've been telling people you're going to see a different MVP.
So excited.
Way more fierce, way more fast, way more explosive, and even better celebrations.
Oh man, you're getting me fired up about it. March can't come soon.
Definitely.